Hello and welcome to Obsessions of a Bookaholic. I am Brittany and today we're going to talk about Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. Ooh, the second in the Dark Artifices trilogy that started with Lady Midnight, and this one's like 10,000 times better in my personal opinion, even though the first one was fantastic. So without further ado, okay, so this is not going to be a spoiler-free book talk thing because there's a lot of shit that happens in this and I kind of need to talk about it. So if you don't want spoilers, you might want to like skedaddle because it's going to be spoiled. And really, this ending, you might think you like spoilers, but you really don't want to know what happens at the end. So like come back, but go for now and read it. Go. Okay, so Lord of Shadows picks up semi where Lady Midnight left off, and first impression, everything is wrong. Christina's with Diego when she should be with Mark. Mark is with Emma, who should be with Julian. But then you find out that Mark and Emma aren't actually like dating, and it's really cute. He's just like, he goes into her room every night and just like curls up on the bottom of her bed and just talks to her because he doesn't have any friends to talk to, and they're so sweet together and they both need somebody to discuss things with. And it's like, I loved Mark from the beginning, and it was just so great to see him again. And him, when he's pretending to be Emma's boyfriend, it's absolutely hilarious. And he gets like the goldfish and presents it to her, to his maiden, and then later on when she's leaving, and then he like runs down the stairs and, I need some time away from your fair face to get over you. It's just, oh my god, it's hilarious. It's hilarious watching him try. He'd try and fail. And even Julian's like, what the fuck? Poor Julian still genuinely believes they're together, and in the beginning you just have to watch him be so sad and torn up about how Emma doesn't want him. He thinks she doesn't love her because of it's Mark. But then you also have Christina and Diego. Perfect Centurion Diego, whatever. They think they're happy, and then all of a sudden Zara Dearborn shows up and is like, oh, how I've missed you, I love you, you're my fiance. And fiance? There are just like so many love issues in this one. I don't even know whether to call it a triangle or not because it's like half of it's fake and half of it's real, but then somebody else is in the side picture because you got like Mark pretending to be with Emma while Christina sort of likes him and he likes Christina, but Christina's with Diego, and Kieran is still kind of in love with Mark because he forgot everything. Oh my god. Okay, so when Gwyn shows up and is like, okay, well, I need you to come help me save Kieran, and then Mark is like, well, I don't care about him. He's like, you know, first of all, we all know that you do, so go get your man, go save him. But then they get to Fairy, and by the way, like, everything in Fairy, it was freaky. Because you never know what's gonna happen. That's so wrong because it's Fairy and you know everything's gonna happen. Dance the first night, and Christina decides she's gonna go off with one of those rebels, you know, where you dance all night and then you just like never stop dancing. And she's like, oh no, we're in Fairy. So even though I know all about this stuff and I know definitely not to do this kind of thing because it's just such a bad idea, and I spent my entire life studying how bad of an idea it was, I'm gonna go dance with them. I can totally not be false victim to their fairy thrall. And Mark's like, no dude, you're being an idiot, but like, I'll come with you because I kind of really like you and I want to dance with you. And they go, and then he's introducing, and she's going to drink the fairy wine. Christina, drink or eat something in Fairy. You are stuck in Fairy forever, so what the hell are you doing? And even Mark's like, dude, you're supposed to know this. And she's like, no, I'm dancing. I'm enjoying myself. Come join me. Come join me. Then they have their moment. She's like, oh yeah. Imagine, he's like, oh, I never dreamed. He's like, oh, I never dreamed that someone like you would want me. He really likes her, even though Kieran, they're on a rescue mission to Kieran, so I don't even know where his head's at, man. And she's like, yeah, it's crazy what a couple of fairy wine will do. No, she loves you secretly, but you can't say anything. And then she accidentally tells him about Julian and Emma, and it just, everything is going to shit so quickly. And then Julian starts making out with this fairy Leanne, whatever fancy thing, because she looks like Emma, and then Emma sees it, and Emma thinks for the entire time, it's like, oh, he's so over me, he was making out with that fairy, and he's like, but no, he thought the fairy was you, he only ever loves you. Okay, finally, then we get to Kieran, We get to Kieran, and he's all tied up, and he's gonna be tortured by his father and his evil brother Eric, who I absolutely despise. BTW. And then the Shadowhunters all show up, and they like saunter in, like, oh, we're gonna save the day. But then Julian Blackthorn, he kind of scares me. In the end of Lady Midnight, when Kieran's all like, oh, Mark told me you were gentle, but you're not gentle, you have a ruthless heart. You are a compulsive liar. And so we go into the Fairy King, and he's like, well, how am I supposed to... And starts spinning things, and even the Fairy King, the Unseelie King, is like, you are a Shadowhunter, but you speak like a gentry. How does anybody trust Julian? Whole compulsive lying with this. He locks up Arthur for years, and then later on, he finds out about this whole, oh my god, the Parabatai curse. He's like, okay, the Seelie Queen, I think I might know a way to break the Parabatai bond. And he's like, okay, great, here's my dad's watch. Let me come into the fairyland so that someone can tell me how they might. And then it turns out that in order to break the Parabatai bond, you must break, with the Black Book, every Parabatai bond in existence. You can't, because then there's Jace, and you got Jace and Alec, and you got Clary and Simon, and literally like every other Parabatai bond in Shadowhunter history who have done nothing wrong just because you want to sleep with Emma. And then even when he tells Emma, she's like, oh, you wouldn't do that, right? And he's like, no, totally, I wouldn't. And he's like, no, but seriously? You wouldn't do that, right? And he's like, definitely not. No, that's absolutely horrible. And she's like, good, okay, because we can't do that. And then he's like, okay, leverage. No! Emma's like, no! He's like, okay, fine, we won't do anything about it. Keeps it to himself. Compulsive liar. Julian Blackthorn, do you understand how many things are wrong with you doing this? Because I don't know if you fully grasp the extent of it, but you really, really need to, because it's just wrong. It's wrong. And you know, Emma wouldn't like you either. So just please. Speaking of the Parabatai stuff, so Emma and Julian spend a majority of the book in this cabin together. Alone. A cabin built for two forbidden lovers by two forbidden lovers that is currently housing two equally forbidden lovers. What do you think is going to happen? And then they go and they burn down that building, and their runes are all like extra glowy, extra powerful, which is horrible because then they're gonna get cursed and they're gonna go mad, and the bond is still there because you're not allowed the like Eros loving love, and it's just and then they burn it down, and then they go back to the place, and he's like, oh, do you ever love me and whatever, and she's like, yeah, I'm so in love with you, and I just every time I can't breathe, can't think about anything, he's like, I want you to feel bad too. He wants her to suffer, thinking about and obsessing over and wanting only one thing like he does with her, and then she's like, that's how I feel about you, and all of a sudden they like collide, and it's just this entire time it's such a bad idea, but you're so happy because finally, and then even she's pulling back and she's like, no, you don't understand how bad of an idea this is, because she still hasn't told him about the whole we'll go mad thing, which like, Emma, you could have just said it from the start. He's gonna do this Parabatai thing and break everybody else's anyway. He may as well have known from the beginning because it's not gonna change anything. He's ruthless and he's terrifying. And then he's like, hold on, I need a minute. But you need to know this. Like, I don't. I've been broken for weeks. I need to be whole again, even if it doesn't last. And she's all sad. She's like, it can't last. It'll break our hearts. And then he says, break my heart. Break it in pieces. I give you permission. And it just... I love them. He scares me, but I love them so much, and it's just so wrong. And then Magnus walks in on them. Like, oh shit, he knows now. And then he tells him, go tell the Inquisitor, go tell Robert Lightwood, who Julian's holding some grudge against for making him hold a mortal sword or something when he was younger, which is like kind of a stupid, really stupid grudge to hold, whatever. Go tell him, he'll be happy that you told him because you're the only ones. You get to choose the terms of like your exile and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, we'll do this. We'll choose the terms of our exile, and we'll hate spending time away from each other, but it'll give us time to figure out how to break the bond without, breaking every bond in existence. But then you get to the end, which I really didn't want to talk about yet because it's going to make me want to cry again. Like, whew, Everything is looking up, and then all of a sudden, whew, so down. It's just so bad. Everything goes fiery ball of hell within seconds. So Julian lied to Annabelle, right? And she's like, okay, you come and you testify that you were the one to kill Malcolm Fade, you hold a mortal sword, and yes, we'll keep Magnus there the entire time, so they're not going to torture you and stuff like that again, you'll be totally okay. I promise. And even Emma's like, don't make any promises that you can't keep. She's been lied to enough. It's like, but what is Julian going to fucking do? Lie to her again. Make a promise that he can't keep. So Annabelle's like, okay, I trust you. Big mistake, big mistake. I'm gonna go to Idris with you guys. I'll hold the mortal sword. I'll tell them that I killed Malcolm Fade, and you'll help me out. And if you help me out, then you'll get the black book. And it's like, all of a sudden, it's everything Julian wants. Even though it's full of lies again, it's everything Julian wants. And then we get to Idris. And Zara Dearborn has brought all her little bigoted fanatic people who are anti-downworlders, pro-registry, which is actually such a fucking stupid idea. Does anybody, Kit, I think, is the only one who knows anything about mundane history, which is actually really, really great to see a semi-human kind of shadow hunter, because like he understands everything else and he knows mundane history, and it's like, does nobody else see how bad this is? Registry. Like, think of stamping some barcodes, whoop-de-doo, we got the Holocaust. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. And then they go in, all the fanatics, and they're like, oh, let's just, like, throw things at her, because that's such a great idea, even though she's, like, some kind of zombie person who looks totally like a person, but she's been resurrected, she's probably a little bit mental, because, oh, Malcolm Fade tortured her for 5 years while she was in the tomb, right? Because back when he killed Emma's parents, his first attempt, she was like half awake inside of the tomb and crawling, trying to get out, but she could hear all his planning and plotting because she wasn't fully alive for 5 whole years. That's almost worse torture than the Blackthorns put her through in the first place, with all the cutting and the slicing and the like breaking of the fingers, which is like really bad as it was. But and the scene when Malcolm is killed by Annabelle, because right, we thought that Emma killed. Okay, no, Emma thought that Emma killed, because I'm guaranteed that a lot of us thought she didn't kill, unless you see a body, they are not dead, and even then, sometimes they're not dead. This is like Game of Thrones, guys. So when he shows up on the Institute steps, he prances up with half, like, of his dead zombie body, and partially, like, sea creature body with the black book in the ocean, thus plaguing all the Shadowhunter people because of all their stupid the sea creatures that he's now in control of, and he's like, I still need my Blackthorn blood. And all the other, like, the big hero Shadowhunters are still in the stinking unsealing court, the fairylands, and you know everything's going poorly, and Kit just, like, runs into battle. It's perfect. It's like, you have no training whatsoever, and you're killing it. You get the Centurions, and everybody just sort of, like, say a little prayer to the Shadowhunter gods that they will kill the Centurions. I hate the Centurions. Especially Zara. Zara can go die in a fiery pit of hell, be eaten by a greater demon, and spit out on the other side, and burn through with heavenly fire. I won't even care. I will probably cheer. I hate Zara. And then you also have John, and that's when he brings John. I was so excited when John Cartwright showed up, because I remember him from Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, and now he's with Marisol, which I saw coming at the end of it, and I was so excited about that. And then he's dead, because Malcolm Fade decides to, like, decapitate him, and shows up with his head, and it's like, please just leave my beloved characters alone and kill the bad ones. I don't want to see this. But no, John's dead, they have this massive battle, the others are still in the fairylands, and then Arthur's like, I'm going to go and be a martyr. Then, Julian is watching this through the looking glass, whatever thing, in the Seelie Queen. Sees Arthur go and kill himself, get himself killed. But then Annabelle is resurrected, and Malcolm's all like, oh, my love, I've been waiting for you, I've done this all for you, and then she just, like, stab. He tortured her for 5 years, don't forget it, it was perfect. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire book, was her repeatedly stabbing Malcolm Fade. It makes me feel like a sociopath. Yeah, so now that she's up, she's alive, resurrected, Malcolm Fade is done with, she was withholding the book. goes off to Idris. Magnus gets sick. Magnus collapsed, and it's like that was the first straw. All of a sudden, Annabelle is holding the mortal sword, and Magnus isn't there, and Zara's being the bitch that she is and calling out, and is like, oh, she's lying, the mortal sword doesn't work on the likes of her, whatever the hell she is. Everybody's pelting her with things, and she's freaking out because she's still holding it. She didn't want to hold it in the first place, and Robert Lightwood's there, and then she stabs him, runs him through with the mortal sword, and then the Jenga structure entirely crumbles because the entire council hall goes into this massive uproar. Everything is going wrong. Julian jumps in to try and fix things. Robert Lightwood is dead. Livy is behind trying to fix it too. Ty's sitting over there with Kit because they can't get to them. Emma's over there, got Cortana. Cortana shatters the mortal sword, which I didn't remember, but I saw things. So people were talking about how Cortana absorbs everything, like every weapon that she cuts through, which means Cortana now has the power of the mortal sword, which, what is going to happen next? What is going to happen next? And then all of a sudden, Livy's in behind there, and then Julian's trying to save Emma and from Annabelle, and Annabelle's just going berserk. The mortal sword is gone, and Livy's behind her, and she takes the leftover bit of the mortal sword and just and stabs Livy. Oh no, Livy. She had so many near-death experiences, like in the shadow market and before, and then she was sick, and it's just, you think that she's going to live because she lives through everything else, and then she doesn't. And Julian is screaming, and honestly, it was almost harder to watch Julian and Emma's reaction than it was to watch Livy die. And you got Ty in the back screaming, and what is Kit gonna do? Because Kit grew attached all of a sudden. There were Sherlock and Watson, but then like Livy was there, and there's three musketeers, and it was so perfect, and all of a sudden she's gone. And what's gonna happen now? Because Julian does absolutely everything to keep his family together, and all of a sudden his family isn't together. They're missing one. Something's wrong. So he's probably gonna basically, like blow up the whole Shadowhunter world. If they had bombs, that's what he would do. Because he's ruthless and terrifying. And speaking of everything going completely to shit, I'm gonna back up really, really far back, almost to the beginning of the book, when Jace is in there talking with Kit, who is such a fucking hairnail, man. His sarcastic comments, even when he and Livy kiss, and she was like, well, that wasn't bad for a first kiss. You leaned your back into it. I wasn't expecting that. Hairnails don't do perfunctory kisses. Dead. That is such a Jace comment. Oh my god, it's like the hairnail blood. I can physically see it running through his veins. It is a physical, palpable thing. The hairnail sarcasm, and it brings me so much joy. I was dead. I could, oh my god. But anyway, so Jace is there with Kit, and then Clary goes and talks to Emma. And this is the first we get to see of Clary and Jace since they showed up in the end of Lady Midnight, and after we got to read the little blurb where Clary turned down Jace's marriage proposal, which I don't know who else made mad, but it made me really upset because I've just wanted they can't have their little happily ever after, seriously, because they're like the heroes of the Dark War and the Mortal War and everything, the Shadowhunter world, and they can't even get a little bit of happiness because, wait for it, Claire has a prophetic dream that she is going to die soon. No. I don't even know how to feel about this. I mean, I feel bad, but I don't even know what to think. Is Cassie Clare, do you think she's actually going to kill Clary? After everything that she's put us through with Clary? Kill her off? In either the Queen of Air and Darkness, or we get to the Wicked Powers, those three, and at the end of it, which is supposed to be even bigger battle the Shadowhunters I've ever seen, she's gonna kill her in that? When is she gonna die? And is she actually going to die, or is she going to die and be resurrected? Because, I can get behind anything that means that Clary and Jace are still together. Also, in terms of characters past and stories gone and whatever, bring it back to the Infernal Devices, because they go to the London Institute. Every other page, I got more and more excited because of all the little Easter eggs from the Infernal Devices. And Kit starts when Kit goes off and he's like, oh, I'm gonna steal some shit. It's like, those are valuable first editions, and some idiot scribed them all with the initials WH. Will You live on forever. And Jessamine shows up, just sassy as ever. I still love her. And even the little inscription on one of the dressers or something of Lucy Blackthorn is like, I am loving all of these little Easter egg things. It's very exciting. Oh, but while they're there, they have Drew, and Drew meets Jamie or Jaime. I think it's Jaime, because isn't that like the Mexican Spanish version of saying, I'm gonna say Jaime. I say Jaime. So Jaime shows up, and Drew is all upset because, you know, she's 13 years old, and she's old enough to go off and do a mission or something. She's more mature than her 13 years. She feels like 16 or something, even older than Ty and Livy and whatever. And so when Jaime shows up, she's like, oh my god, this is my chance to prove how worthy I am. I'm going to let him in and keep it secret, which, you know, could have gone downhill really fast. Thank God it didn't. But the secret weapon that the Silly Queen has, and I didn't even think of this, but there's a theory that the Silly Queen weapon that Sebastian left is actually their son, or like a child. And then when Drew gets sent back to whatever area she is in the Silly Queen, to the whatever mirror thing or something that she touched, and there's like a semi-child, there are theories. There's a theory that is the child of Sebastian and the Silly Queen. Can you guys imagine? I can't even think, what would that do? So Sebastian, is it bad Sebastian? Does he have bad Sebastian genes? Because Sebastian as Jonathan Christopher wasn't so horrible. Even at the end of City of Heavenly Fire, when everybody, you know, started bawling because it was JC dying rather than Sebastian, when he got back those green eyes and the demon sort of left him and he's like, I wish I could have been a better for you, brother for you. Is it going to be that kind of Sebastian? Or is it the demon-blooded transfer Sebastian? How does it even work? How does like a half demon, partially demon shadow hunter reproductive system work if they're going to be able to shed their demonness at the end of the book when they die? How does that work? How does that go? But the Silly Queen, bad enough that you got something to the Silly Queen passing on. Silly Queen is so terrifying. Half-truths and making people crazy, and it's just, and putting her with Sebastian genes, it's going to go so crazy. I can see it already. If that is an actual thing that is happening, I am so down. I am so excited. I didn't even think of it, but if that is true, it's like, oh my god, guys, wait. Just wait. Imagine it and wait. Because, oh, wait, I totally forgot. Okay, in this one, Gwyn Apnud, however you say it, the, like, leader of the Wild Hunt. He is precious. And just friendly reminder, he's crushing really hard on Diana. And they're so cute together. He throws the acorn at her and is so captivated by her. And then when he shows up outside of her window and it's like, I would like to call on you or court you or whatever. It just, oh my god, I love him so much. I love him so much. And then Diana's awesome, but she's only 28, so I thought she was older than that. But Gwyn and Diana, they just make the most precious, perfect couple, so I'm really, really hoping that in the next one we get to see more of them, because it's just, oh my god. And the Wild Hunt in general, because, you know, I can see why Mark misses it. The freedom, the horses, the flying off into the air or whatever. Like, he and Kieran didn't have it too bad, even though they were both trapped. And speaking of Kieran, what the heck? What is going on with him and Christina? First he hates Christina, and then he's like, I pledge my allegiance to you instead of Mark because Julian insisted, and I don't even know what's up Julian's sleeve because he's always has something under his sleeve. And then later on he starts to seem to warming up to Christina, and then he even admits, he's like, yeah, I only did it to piss Mark off. That's why I swore it to you. But I actually really like you. And then he's starting to, the whole dance scene. What was that? What was that? When Christina and Mark are in the ballroom in the London Institute, and they're dancing because their bond makes the captive stay together because they're binding thing, which, you know, it was kind of, I mean, it was horrible, but it was also kind of perfect because I was so ready for more Christina and Mark. So ready, so waiting, and then Kieran screwed it up a little bit because he forgot everything. And so he didn't know what he did bad, he didn't even know that they were broken up, and then he gave Mark a second chance with him, and Mark had to lie, and Mark hates lying, and Christina knew, so he was confiding in her, and then also loving her, and just, oh my god. Anyway, so then they're dancing. Mark and Christina are dancing. Kieran shows up and he's like, oh, let me show her how it's done, and twirls her around the floor like a fucking professional fairy ballroom dancer or whatever. Mark is just sort of watching. Even Christina's like, what the hell was that? I don't understand. And Kieran seems like, I don't know. Does Kieran have a thing for her? Or does Kieran just like her as a, like, she intrigues him? Or is it a way of getting at Mark? Because I think it's beyond him getting at Mark now. I think he actually sort of likes her company, at least, because she's easy to love, which she is. Christina's ridiculously sweet. So I have no idea what's actually going on with them. Really hoping that we get more of that in the next one, to actually figure out what's going on between Kieran and Christina, and then Mark thrown in there, and how, on top of that, everything else that was sort of left open, because it just ends when Livy dies, and there's so much that is still left to be seen. I can't wait those 2 years, but I will have to. I will do it. I will suffer. I will content myself to the last hours sometime in between, and I will probably never move on. So anyway, that was my book talk of Cassandra Clare's Lord of Shadows. Again, second in the Dark Artifices trilogy. Yes, read every single of the other 10 books before you read it. That includes Bane Chronicles and the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. You will miss things, and you will be sad. So if you didn't read those, but you read this, shame on you. Go back and read the other 2 before the next one comes out, or you will be unfortunately sorry. But that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!